Welcome to Echoes International podcast, with teaching, interviews and stories of what God is doing straight from the mission field and also within the UK. For more podcasts, stories and opportunities to get involved, check out our website at echoesinternational.org.uk and our other social media channels.
Hi everyone, good morning. Hope you are all well. So I'm here representing FirstServe. We've got a stand over there. Feel free to talk to me, take a leaflet, take a funky wristband. Now, some of you may ask, what is FirstServe? Some of you may know what FirstServe is. Some of you might not even fit the demographic for what FirstServe is. But everyone will know someone between the ages of 18 and 25. So if you fit that now, you're too young, or you know someone who fits that demographic, please tell them about it. So FirstServe is a sort of a gap year, 6 months, for people 18 to 25, set up by Echoes International, Glow, who also have a stand over there, and counties. It is a sort of a 3-part gap year where you learn to serve local, and serve global. So this is just a sort of a short little presentation about my experience as part of FirstServe. So in the Learn to Serve section, I spent 2.5 months at Tilsley College, Bible college set up by Glow in Motherwell, just south of Glasgow in Scotland. So I spent 2 months there, learnt lots of sort of theological knowledge of different books of the Bible, pneumatology, Christian ethics, just to sort of outline some of those kind of topics that we learnt about. But I was only there for a couple of months, but we were there and we got to really know and become really close with a lot of the friends that me and the other guys, as part of FirstServe, got to know. We got to know the local area very well, as it was during lockdown, so we couldn't get up to much. But I really appreciated sort of the theological grounding that this course gave me into the rest of my gap year, but also going into university, because it allowed me to think about some certain topics and go, actually, this is now what I think, this is now what I believe, going into university. But the second part of the program was sort of serving locally in a church. So you typically do some of this for 4 to 6 weeks as part of the standard program, but I was there during COVID. So I was blessed with being able to be part of Hebron Evangelical Church for 2.5 months in Carlisle. So I went with a fellow FirstServer, Amy, and we got to be there for 2.5 months and got involved in varying different parts of the church, from kids work to youth work to some of their homeless outreach. But I think what was really cool, I was ready to sort of go full in and help with whatever the church had to offer, but the church leaders also offered me the chance to preach and do some sort of Sunday morning ministry. So this church, I actually preached for the very first time, and the church, one of the church leaders got behind me and really involved and wanted to help me. He didn't write it for me, but he helped me sort of put it together and actually sort of teach the church. That photo was from a live stream. It is technically still on the YouTube channel somewhere, if you could find it. But it was also very much in the heart of sort of Cumbria in the Lake District. So many weekends just sort of walking the hills of the Lake District. But I think what was also really nice is that we were put up by a host family from the church who were really connected, and that we could actually get involved and serve alongside with them, which was really nice as well. But because my time during FirstServe was during sort of 2021, so really peak COVID season. So as I said, there was the sort of this Learn to Serve, which I did at Tilsley College, serve local at Hebron. But then I was supposed to do my international section over sort of that following summer, which really didn't come about due to COVID happening. So I spent the next year, sort of 2021-2022 academic year, going and doing university, living life at university, joining the Christian Union. And then this summer, I actually spent 2 months serving in Argentina. So I worked with Eba and Fiona Galito as well as Rick Israel, as well as James Burnett, who are from sort of the Glasgow area in Scotland, and got involved with what they're doing. So I travelled to Argentina. I think the total travel time was like 32, 36 hours door to door, which was quite long. But we were there, and I got involved with a lot of sort of the teaching and evangelism aspect that I came to really love in my sort of church placement section. So we were there in the city of Paraná, in Entre Rios, which is kind of north of Buenos Aires. So I got involved with lots of the church activities, sort of notably a lot of sort of evangelism stuff. So me and Ebba, he trained me in a lot of sort of their evangelism tactics or methods, and we would be invited into people's houses, talk with them, talk to random people on the street. But I was also given the opportunity to travel up to the sort of north of the country, and we visited a sort of a young people's camp, which was great because it was all just people my age. And we actually got to go and I preached with them, and I just really sort of got to know them. But it was really cool to see these kind of up-and-coming sort of young leaders of what would be the church in a few years in Argentina. But as part of my time, I got to visit loads of different types of churches in Argentina as well. And what it really meant to be, we were in a really remote place of the country, really far north in the province of Chaco. And we got to see how church just comes together and sort of lives in community. Everyone had a role, everyone was doing something as part of the church conference that we were at. But during my time, I also really wanted to go sort of full in and experience the culture. I'm a big kind of foodie, and I really enjoyed a lot of the food and the culture that Argentina had to offer. And I arrived in Argentina knowing zero Spanish. I got off the plane into a taxi for 6 hours with a taxi driver that spoke zero English and me who spoke zero Spanish. So our communication was coffee and where is the toilet when we stopped off. But I went from like speaking zero Spanish and pretty much daily Spanish lessons to be able to go up to someone in the street on the final week and tell them the gospel in Spanish, which I thought was really cool. But every FirstServe has kind of a different opportunity. So Amy, my friend from FirstServe, who I spent most of my time with in sort of my first section, she actually went out and served in Thailand over the summer, and she had a very different experience than I did, and she was serving a lot with sort of people almost in the midst of a war zone as they were bordering Myanmar. But people have gone out to Zambia, to Bolivia, India, and it's all really quite interesting. But if you do want to know more, we do have a stand over there next to Glow. Please come and talk to me. I will be more than willing to tell you more about it.
We hope you're encouraged and inspired and ready to answer the call. Thank you for listening.